Let's see. This is a good one. Signs you are not recovering adequately from workouts.
I think the big one that I think about is like if you have any resentment towards your training. Like if you have those days where you're just like, oh man, I got to go in there and train. Like you just feel like that. Probably not a good day to train. Or you kind of force yourself to go. You're like, I don't want to wuss out. I'm gonna go anyways. Test the waters though. Like do your warm up sets. The first set's gonna tell you if you have it or not, right? Like if you just don't have it, like just there's nothing wrong with like, you know what, I'm just gonna walk out and I'll come back tomorrow. I'll go home, get some good rest, make sure I'm well fed, and, get a good night's sleep, stay hydrated, come back, try again the next day. Because I've had those days where you have a little resentment, you go in there and you do a couple warm up sets, doesn't feel great, but then that first set you're like, whoa, that kind of flew up, and you're fine. So I think it's okay to make that judgment call before testing the waters like that. Like if you just like, you know what, not a good day to do it. But if you find yourself having that feeling of resentment, like fatigue, like kind of like that feeling, and you're always saying, I'm gonna just skip out, then you're more than likely you're gonna be skipping out way too much. So I think it's like go in there, get the firsthand experience one way or the other. That's one though. I look at resentment. Like if you have any resentment towards that, then you're probably not like recovering, or you're programming. Maybe you're just trying to do too much all the time. So it's generating a little bit of resentment, whether it's through fatigue, physically, or even mental fatigue. Aches and pains, definitely. If your joints are feeling a little beat up, again, it's like, okay, why are they feeling beat up? There's probably something to look at there. That would be kind of one. General fatigue, you're just feeling blah. You got any others, Kenny, that you can think of? These
Mm,
aren't your questions; these are the listeners' questions. So you
these are
feel free
listeners.
to.
Yeah, that's true. But you covered some good ones. Sleep, like if your sleep's all screwed up out of nowhere, that could be
Yeah,
kind of
so I
potential.
know
I've had that.
personally from my experiences with sleep, like if I get anything under the 5 hours, like let's say 4.5, maybe five, I'm like, today I'm just not gonna train because I usually feel like shit with this lack of sleep like that. So, but then I'll have days where it's like 5.5, 6 hours sleep. I still feel kind of tired, but I'll kind of just go in the gym because I've had plenty of sessions where I go in there, a couple warm up sets. I'm like, nah, I just don't have it. I walk out.
And for you, it's easy. It's right there in the garage, right?
Yeah. And then the fear with that too, with some people, right? Like, oh man, if I walk out, then I'm not going to progress. You're kind of wussing out on sessions. But if you do the session and let's say you don't perform all that great, so let's say your loads are down or you don't have the stamina, you just can't get all the sets in, all the work in, or the reps are down. Your volume is going to be down in comparison of what you could do when you are more recovered, more rested. So waiting, going the next day, you might crush it, right? Better lifts, more volume in a sense, you get more bang for your buck. And your recovery would probably be better because if you try to train when you're a little fatigued like that, you're just going to exacerbate fatigue that much more. So again, taking that step back, how is that going to impact tomorrow and the next day and the day after that? You don't want to snowball to where now you have like 2, 3, 4 sessions in a row where it just doesn't go all that great. Like someone will post something up and say, "This is my session today," and then everybody will ask questions about it. It's like, well, yeah, that what they're doing in the moment is important. I'm sure it's effective and it's helping them out to progress moving ahead. But it's what they did prior. That's what got them to that moment.